Today's video is brought to you by Grey Viking Games. Click the link in the description below to buy MTG Arena codes for cosmetics, packs, and more. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Jeff, and today we're gonna have some fun playing Magic. And today we are doing probably the spiciest combo that you can do in standard right now, and that is Augusta Dean of Order and Magda Brazen Outlaw. So what do these guys say? So Magda Brazen Outlaw, 2 mana 2/1, other dwarves you control get +1/+0. Whenever a dwarf becomes tapped, create a treasure token, and then you can sacrifice 5 treasures to search your library for an artifact or a dragon card. Well, Augusta, 3 mana 1/3 says whenever you attack, untap each creature you control. So if Magda attacks in, or another dwarf like our Staunch Shieldmate attacks in, then we get to tap them down, get 2 treasures, we get to untap them, and then I can tap again any number of creatures I control. So tap them again. And so on turn 3, we can have 5 treasures with Magda, which means we can go grab a Terramount Velus, a Goldspan Dragon. We can go grab Embercleave from the deck as well, because this lets us also go grab, or Magda, we can sacrifice 5 treasures to go grab an artifact as well. We also just have a ton of ramp in the Boros colors, which is insane. And a lot of times we don't need to be getting up to the tutoring ability on Magda. Instead, we just get to play the Goldspan Dragon from our hand, and then Embercleave on the same turn, because we'll have enough attackers. We get to tap on tap with Magda, whatever, as we're attacking in. So this is turn 4. We go in with Goldspan Dragon, Embercleave in hand, and attacking. And that's probably the way I've won the most, is not so much with tutoring ability with Magda with the treasure. Instead, the way I've won the most is playing out Goldspan Dragon on turn 4 or turn 3 if I don't have the Augusta, and then having the Embercleave in hand, which just is lethal and all of the damage in the world, and everyone scoops at that point because you're just so far ahead. And of course, we can tutor up the Terramount Velus, which is a 7 mana 5/5 flying double strike. Whenever it enters the battlefield, all creatures that we control gain double strike until end of turn. And so this is just a huge body. It's really good. It's really awesome. The rest of this deck is built all around just supporting that combo and making it work, and just having good aggressive playstyle. So Bonecrusher Giant, of course, has to come in here. I know it's been played so many times, but it is the best red card ever. It's really, really good. I did bring in 1 copy of Maul the Skyclaves because it's another artifact we can give to put onto anything and give it first strike and flying, which can just be enough to win the game. It's also really cool with Augusta being able to untap and actually have protection with first strike. So if we need to, we can have Maul the Skyclaves come in as a way to kind of give vigilance with this first strike flying ability, which is actually really cool. Rimrock Knight gives us another dwarf, gives us something that we can use to pump up creatures with Embercleave, gives us more treasure with Goldspan Dragon pumping it. It's just a perfect card for this deck. And then Sudden Breakthrough, there was only room for 1 copy of this, although I do think it's a really, really cool with Magda. 2 mana instant, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains first strike until end turn, and you create a treasure token. So it's creating more treasures for us, and it lets us attack in with a Magda on turn 3 after we play it out, even if there's a board, because putting up to a 4 powered thing with first strike typically lets us trade off with anything. And it's just a really sweet way to create extra treasures and get ahead on value. 2 copies of Rip Apart for removal for everything. Shatterskull Smashing for removal for everything else. 1 Shock, because I did find also that being able to attack in, get a treasure, and then use that 1 treasure to shock something is so valuable that it's just nice to have every once in a while. So we definitely need this in the deck. And of course, we're playing dwarves, so we have to throw in Torbran. Not everything that we have is red, but we do have a lot of red sources that do a lot of damage. And so Torbran coming as a one of is just, it's in there for flavor and also for fun. So that's the deck for you guys. So in the month of April, I had almost 150,000 unique viewers. It is so cool to know that my videos have touched 150,000 people just in 1 month. And with almost 80,000 of you guys watching multiple videos, I would definitely appreciate it if some of you guys would hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and get the gameplay. Here we do. Let's do it. All right, up against Inomore. Dude, I just want to draw a Magda. Mulligan this. Okay, now we drew all of them. Sweet. I'll take it. Hey, no, let me drop it. There we go. Perfect. And this is the most beautiful hand of all time. I'll keep it. Staunch Shieldmate. Pathway on red, so I can hold on to the mountain for the snarls that we're playing. Swarm Shambler. Ah, a snarl. Part of me wants to go Rimrock Knight there first, but I think this is better. Especially because we get hit in for 2 with the Shieldmate. I mean, come on. That's just good stuff. Start growing those treasures. Pass the turn. Is it Sudden Breakthrough is the card that gives us first strike? That would be sweet draw here. There's only one of, so very unlikely. Otherwise, we do have Goldspan Dragon to play for the next turn. After a combat. Pass to my turn. Stompy Boy. Stompy Boy is good stuff. That lets us attack and stomp the Swarm Champion. They get a pest or another insect. I could also swing in here, Rimrock Knight, hit for 4, play out Rimrock Knight, get 3 treasure on the next turn, and then tutor up the Embercleave. That's probably just a safer play. Hold on to Bonecrusher Giant. Let's see, 2 treasures now, gets us up to 3. Stomp. Yeah, we get the Embercleave that way too. Let's go ahead and let them, let's see if they even block. All right, so they do go for the block. Makes sense. They don't go for the block. They know that we got something. I'm hovering over my hand, dude. Watch out. I'd rather just get in for the damage and not have to spend the Bonecrusher Giant. Okay. All right, so stomp the dude. Pump the Shieldmate. Puts a counter onto, that's fine. Still dies to a Bonecrushy dude. Down to 14, we have treasures. See, this is where it's like playing out a Bonecrusher Giant after that turn is actually huge too. Like, is that better than just tutoring up an Embercleave next turn? I don't know. Tutoring up a Terra Mount Velus though, that's a big deal. It's a very big deal. Especially because we still get to play out Bonecrusher Giant, maybe whatever we find off the top too. Like, it's so good. If we find a Goldspan Dragon, we can actually play it out and still have enough treasures to then find Terra Mount. Oh my gosh, that'd be the best draw ever. Let's find that. Come on deck. Come on deck. That's a big dude. Crap. All right, well, okay. Okay, yeah. We have plenty of mana, so let's attack in. Create some treasures. Blocks there. All right, so we activate this ability. Now we just go grab Terra of Mount Velus. Our guys get double strike. We play out Bonecrushy. Rimrock Knight's a little bit tempting, especially if we find the Augusta. I could have got enough to tutor up again. I know it's really fun, more fun than just one Terra Mount Velus, 2 of them, or with an Embercleave, although it already has double strike, so we already have lethal in the air. So I mean, like, we're good, but you know, it could have been sweet. So Inscription of whatever it's called is probably the worst thing that could happen here. I think they need 1 more mana to get it both sides, the fight and make it bigger. Primal Might. Yeah, that's bad. Another Magda. All right, so we swing in. We still hit for a lot of damage. They probably kill the Magda. We have another Magda. So we do it. They kill the Staunch Shieldmate here. It's a little bit worse. But we also have flyers. We have Goldspan Dragons we can hopefully find later on. All right, down to 4. They have a chance to go wide now. We have Rimrock Knight. We have Magda. Do I play out the land? I don't even know. I guess I don't show them what I've got. We already have extra mana, so it's not like we're going to be tight on mana. The one thing is that we do want to be able to play a Terramount Velus at times, which we have enough to play it out from hand here. We have 3 dwarves, so as long as we get to swing in with all 3 of these. So hopefully no more Primal Mites or removal. Yeah, Ram Through's Primal Might. It doesn't look like they're playing Blizzard Brawl. Inscription, whatever the green inscription is, would be bad. A Scoos. Scoos ain't that bad. That's okay. And they do nothing else. All right, we have game now, because now we can tutor up an Embercleave. And it's lethal with anything we attach it to. So, attack in, 3 treasures. Don't mind if I do. You can go grab another Terramount Velus, also lethal for anything. Yeah, it's the only way you can block to survive. Magda's ability, sacrifice me some treasures. And let's go, yeah, let's go Embercleave. Why not? Just to show it off and be like, yeah, that's right. Kill them with the dwarves. We don't care about the giants. Giants can fight amongst themselves. Down to -6. Good game, sir. Good game. I love this deck. When it goes off, oh man, it is so beautiful. Wow, that is a lot of Augustas and Plarggs. Plargg isn't the worst thing to play on turn 2. This isn't a strong hand just for the 2 lands anyway. Being on the play, this could be our chance to decide to go off. So I'm going to try to Maul again for something better. All right, Magda, please. And then this hand becomes amazing. Do I hold on to a Goldspan Dragon? So we keep this. I really like Staunch Shieldmate into Augusta. Rimrock Knight is also really aggressive. And so up against Kahira deck, most likely control. Let's just go aggro, hopefully find a Magda along the way. And that'd be swell. Swell indeed. Okay, Staunch Shieldmate, pass the turn. Magda, Magda, Magda. Come on, deck, I believe in you. I've always believed in you. That's not it. That's not bad, though. Yeah, we're just playing out Rimrock Knight. Swing in. Down to 19 past the turn. All right, so I forget. I've seen a few different Kahira decks, and I'm never totally sure what's going on with that. So let's go Augusta. Attack in. Tap these guys down. Let's get the damage rolling. Down to 13 past the turn. Dude, yeah, Augusta's sweet. +1 for all tapped creatures. +0, or yeah, 0+1. It gets bigger toughness if it's untapped. So either good attackers or good blockers. Whichever one we want, we got. So this out on red, I think. Attack in. I was trying to hope to go for removal there so we can know what we are Embercleaving and hopefully don't have counterspell. Having this out on board is still really nice. We don't really have a ton of things with haste except for Goldspan Dragon, which, unless we have treasures, it's very unlikely we'll be able to equip it on the same turn it swings in, but it's a thing that could happen. Come on now. Let's do. So Extinction Event is really annoying. If they have a Heartless Act here into Extinction Event, then putting this onto Rimrock Knight is actually the worst thing. Because then they have the 2-drop thing that they hit right away. They clearly have something. So I'm going to make Extinction Event a little bit worse. This is a little bit awkward. and maybe I'm overthinking it. All right, so they have Eliminate. If they have Extinction Event, now this means at least something stays on the battlefield, and that something can actually create lethal on the next turn. Unless it's Augusta, then you know it's just met. But that's fine. We're gonna do it. All right. That would have brought them down to 4 on that turn. And how close are we to lethal? They were at 14. I had 10. I would have brought them down to 1, I think, otherwise. Rip apart. Not really amazing. Not particularly spectacular. Well, we go on to Rimrock Knight. They have more removal, clearly. The nice thing too is any dwarves that come out, whoa, they had nothing? That was surprising. Okay, I'll take it. Sweet stuff. All right, up against Luca. None of our early game stuff, so we got a mulligan this one. And this is a little bit better. Staunch Shieldmate, I've actually been really impressed with, just as a all-around good card. So keep 6, drop Terror Mount Velus. A little bit more white mana than I think I'd like for this deck. But a decent curve with this into Bonecrusher Giant, into Stomp into Crusher Giant is still good. Yeah, attack in. Down to 19 past the turn. So yeah, Staunch Shieldmate, not a whole lot of awesomeness here, but as a 1 mana 1/3, that's a whole lot of stats for 1 mana. And then with Augusta, with Magda, they all pump up either the power or toughness based off untappedness. It's just good. All right, so we have Embercleave on the next turn, so let's go ahead and attack in. Down to 16, play out Bonecrusher dude. Embercleave next turn is pretty close to lethal. Fire Prophecy comes. All right, that's okay. It's all good. I'm just devastated. But yeah, with Augusta, when this is untapped, it's a 1/4 for 1 mana, which is really good stats. Like, that's really hard for people to beat, you know, or like it's hard for people to get through. It dodges a lot of the removal in the format. So honestly, I've been really impressed with this card. I mean, I'd like to find anything else at the same time, but you know, whatever. Swing in for 1, down to 13. Let's throw out the other one. A Magda would be sweet. Magda would be the bomb. Another Fire Prophecy. Prismari Command. Just hits our face. See? Dodging removal. That's a big deal. What are they playing? Goldspan Dragon. Oh no. Alright, well, they get in for tons of damage. Embercleave lets us keep up the pace, but yeah, they're going to like Magma Opus soon. Ooh. If Torbran actually let these guys hit for any damage, this is like the most awkward hand I've had yet. But do I play out Torbran so that I can Embercleave onto it the next turn? That's tempting. Oh, that's fresh. Like really frustrating, actually. So I can hit for 5 with Embercleave. Oh, this is so awkward. I'm going to go for greed because the 5 points of damage we're getting with the Shieldmate isn't enough for it to be really worthwhile. This sets up for us to be able to hit in for 10 points of damage the next turn. So we have lethal on the next turn if the Embercleave gets through. That's just better. It does require them to not have removal, but we know they're playing Prismari Commands, other stuff. Now they have enough mana for Magma Opus, so clearly they're not going to have it. And everything's just gonna be just fine. Everything's gonna be just fine. They definitely have Magma Opus. I'm so screwed. Yeah. I love this game so much. What a hand. I'm not talking about theirs. Mars is amazing. You kidding? This is huge. We drew like the most incoherent things you possibly could. That takes skill, guys. That takes not just some of the skill, all of the skill. All right, they have Prismari Command to kill us here, most likely. I'll let them do it. All right, well, we'll show them the rest of our combo. Why'd you tap down the 2 mountains? It doesn't matter. We're done. Yeah, we're out of here. It was going to be so cool. It was going to be amazing. All right, up against Jade Penguin. And this is a good hand. Nothing Magda about it, but it's a good hand. And I mean, we can't just top deck the Magda. Dude, I'm all in on the Magda. That's all I want in life is that Magda. So lead off with Shatterskull, tap, pass the turn. Stompy boy. That does stop a Rimrock Knight pretty hardcore, and that's not cool. Do I play out Rimrock Knight though, or do they start not blocking? The cool thing is that I can go Augusta on the next turn and actually give this 2 toughness. It makes it a little bit harder to kill. That's the more aggro play. Yeah, let's go Rimrock Knight. Pass the turn. For the rude. Man. Some people's kids. Could just play out Bonecrusher Giant. Augusta is at least a blocker for the 1-drop. Doesn't actually do a whole lot against Bonecrusher Dude or Lovestruck Beast for the next land here. Let's go ahead and play out Augusta. Pass the turn. Just because I want to hold up the stomp here. Okay, Rimrock Knight for the trade. I'm kind of okay with that. Especially because we have another one. Like, I don't feel like that was a really good play for them to do that. Augusta itself isn't that huge here. Maybe I just want to draw into lands. So Plargg I can play out and start discarding and drawing. We don't have Magda, so it's not like we can do a whole lot with treasure, that stuff anyway. Like, honestly, just hitting lands is the most important thing here. So, but I can't hold up Stompy Boy at the same time. So do I just play out Bonecrusher Giant or play out... Let's go Bonecrusher Giant played out. I can Augusta on the next turn and swing in actually with a 5/3, which could trade off with the Lovestruck Beast. Which is a way to get through that. I can also play Torbran, get through. Alright, so they do trade off. I'm okay with that. Another Stomp or Shock or any of our removal spells would be great. Rip Apart would be great. Goldspan Dragon, also great. Augusta would have been nice because I could have gotten through these little kitty cats, but hitting for 6, also good stuff. Do I offer the trade so they don't have the things to crew this? I want to scoops it up. Sweet. Not too shabby. All right. I mean, that was kind of a lucky one, honestly, but we'll take it. Ah, man. Awful hand. Mulligan. Let's try this one. Staunch Shieldmates. See, this would be a great hand against a mono white deck. Great hand against any aggro deck. Up against Yorion, it's just not aggro enough. Like that's one of the hardest things with this right now is that this is a totally keepable hand against half of the format. Right now, I do know what I'm up against, so maybe I shouldn't be playing this out. But like, we could find Magda, we can find Rimrock Knights, we can find lands, we can find other stuff that will still let this be a really, really busted aggressive hand. Just not yet. Swing in down to 19. Pass the turn. It is kind of sad. So, I've been playing a few games here with this deck so far. I don't think I throw the shock anywhere just yet. Ah, man. Every time that I found a Magda, I think I've won the game. Like, consistently. Just because Magda this deck is built around it. It's really good. It works well. Anytime I don't have Magda, we've lost. I've recorded now, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will be the 7th game. I found Magda 1 time in 7 games. And there's a full playset of them. You know, like I'm finding, I found Shock, which is a 1-of in the deck, more times than I have found Magda. What do you do about that? Like, you really, that is the most annoying part about Magic, about this awesome game, which I absolutely love, is that sometimes there's just some really frustrating stuff like that comes about. One of the Suns are really annoying. Doom Foretold. Well, we get to rip apart, which is nice, and destroy that, but we lose a Shieldmate first. What am I shocking? Am I just shocking one of these guys? Sure. That was super helpful and useful. Another ah, yes! Yes, I love this so much. Get out of here, Doom Foretold. For the love. Like with Magda, this would be a busted hand. This would be so good. With any of our stuff besides Staunch Shieldmate, it'd be great. I don't know how to draw more Magda. Like, I want to make fun and interesting content for you guys, but I don't know how to draw more Magda. I just can't do it. Watch me draw it right here. But it's going to be too late. Yeah. Once the Plargg is out, what do I do then? I think I still swing in. Goldspan Dragon's a little bit helpful, although it dies to the Plargg on the next turn. Down to 12 next turn. Oh man, guys, I don't know how to ensure that I draw stuff without, I mean, card draw. Okay, card draw's a way to go. Tutors is a way to go. I guess I'd play out the Plargg side of this instead, because I'd rather try to dig for stuff with the 5 mana here rather than the Augusta side when I don't have a Magda. So no attacks past the turn. So yeah, the side of Plargg here, I can pay 5 mana and tap this to reveal the top cards of your library until I reveal a non-legendary, so I can't be a Magda, can't be an Augusta, a non-legendary, non-land card with mana value 3 or less. So that's Bonecrusher Giant, which is good. That's, I mean, it doesn't matter anymore, it's gone. But, you know, stuff could have been really cool. Well, Embercleave is something. So this prevents the damage, but then it dies. They have how many cards in the graveyard? Not enough to bring it back. All right, well, Embercleave. Of course. All right, yeah, we're done. We're done here. Oh man, I don't know, guys. I don't know how to make it work. All right, guys, so you can see here I have 11 wins and 11 losses with this deck. I played a lot of this before coming and recording here. The deck honestly is just really refreshing. So out of 7 games this time, I found, I think, 1 Magda. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe there's 2 games in there, but I'm only remembering 1 game where I even found a Magda, and it was the best game ever. Sometimes I'll find it late game when it doesn't matter anymore. It's just too late to do anything. This deck is phenomenal if you get Magda, or if you just like curve out pretty well. There are some expensive cards here where it's kind of hard and annoying. I found more Torbrands this time than I've ever had before when I was playing it beforehand. So I had 4 losses and 3 wins. And so before, when I was testing out beforehand, just on my own, at a little bit higher win rate. In general, though, I think this deck does fit kind of in that 50-50 slot. And it's one of those where it's like, it's either the best deck ever you've ever seen, or it probably loses. And man, I have a tendency to build those kinds of decks, you know? The hardest thing is that the format is really difficult. We have the ability to go super aggro with this deck. But if we don't go super aggro, it's not consistent in its aggroness, which means that it's weaker against the Orion decks. It's weaker against the control decks or anything like that. So to beat control, an aggro deck has to be super aggro because of just how much stuff control got. Like mono red got 0 stuff, you know, or like red decks, aggro decks didn't really get much in this format. Augusta kind of fits within that, but even that is more of a combo piece than it is an aggro card, you know. It is good. It's nice with Embercleave, that kind of stuff, I guess, but it's also not hasty, not a Bonecrusher Giant, you know, not a Love Struck Beast. It's not anywhere close to that level, but it's still at least a fun thing to be playing and doing. So, yeah, my thoughts overall with this deck is, I like this deck. It's a super fun one to play. If you guys are looking to just do the craziest, jankiest things in the format, this deck is it. This deck does all of the things, and it is super fun. So fun. But you are going to run into those occasional matchups where, or like me, maybe you can hopefully draw more Magdas than I did. But for me, without a Magda, without the combo, so the combo is Staunch Shieldmate turn 1, Magda turn 2, get a treasure. Augusta turn 3, swing it with these guys, create 4 treasures, you know, tap, untap them again, 4 treasures. That's 5 altogether because of this one beforehand. On turn 3, you're grabbing Embercleave, Terramount Velus, all this kind of stuff, and you've already played out 3 creatures. I've had that happen one time so far for me, and it's not that difficult to get. Like these are like some of the only cards that we have 4 of, you know, like it should happen more often than that. I just had really bad luck with that kind of stuff. So anyway, it's a fun deck. I hope you guys have that happen for you sometime. I hope the dreams come true for you, because they're not coming true for me. But yeah, so let me know if you guys try this one out. Let me know if you guys ever have that happen. Put it down in the comments below. Love to hear all the stuff you guys are saying there. I do read through a lot of the comments, just so you guys know. I've not been responding as much, just because my channel is getting a little bit more attention, a little bit more stuff, and it's hard to go through like 300 comments a day. Probably not that many, but there's a lot. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Definitely appreciated. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much, and bye-bye.